You're watching Good Morning Wyoming.
Welcome back. We're here with Jason Laird of the Rising Lotus Wellness Center. We're here to talk about various ways that you treat infertility.
Yes.
Thank you so much for being with us today.
Thanks for having me.
I know that you use some sort of allergy test to treat
Yes.
for infertility first. Can you tell us a little bit about this?
Yeah, you know, I've been treating in acupuncture for about 9 years, and obstetrics and gynecology is a big topic. And so a lot of couples, I was doing some research, you know, just and I found even in 1995, 2.1 million couples were infertile. And so there's acupuncturists that actually make their whole practice on this. I diversify into other things, but what I've noticed is, you know, there's several different causes of infertility, and so I test and treat for all kinds. But what I've noticed with that allergy treatment that we've been talking about is I had a patient who I saw about 2 years ago with acupuncture, and she's gone through, in fact, on my website I have her testimonial on there. She's been through Western medicine testing, she's been through unsuccessful in vitro testing and treatments. I treated her for several months a couple of years ago, and they were still infertile. And I actually did, when we got the new allergy testing, I tested her for hormones, I tested her for the enzymes, I tested her for biosubstances, and we found that she was actually sensitive to her own estrogen and to the protein in her husband's semen. And so once we treated her, they actually got pregnant the next month. They called me and said they finally, after I think it was 3 or 4 years, 5 years maybe they were trying, that treatment actually helped reverse the situation. So I've been really doing a lot of work with that and kind of a lot of research on it, and really finding that there's a big need for that. So people can come in, and that allergy testing is, you know, we call it allergy testing, but it also tests for sensitivities. And, you know, people can be allergic to their own sweat, their own body functions, their own acids, things like that. So there's a lot of things that can contribute.
Do you have other cases like hers that you've come across?
I do. I'm actually just now starting to, you know, because of that one success case, you know, we've really gotten a lot of inquiries about it. So that'll be coming shortly.
And I know you wanted to also talk about acupuncture for infertility as well.
Yeah, acupuncture in gynecology has been around, you know, basically since 1500 BC. And so there's cases on tortoise shells, prescriptions written in China. And so, you know, depending on the person's particular cause, so there can be cold in the uterus, which we have a lot here. So people that are outdoors, active, they can have cold in the uterus, so they might have a cold sensation in the abdomen. There can be blood stagnation, so people who have, you know, a lot of stress, maybe even some injury, there can be those kinds of causes. There's several causes, and each person is different. And, you know, I go by the tongue. The tongue actually, by the color and the coating and the shape and texture, really tells a lot about how the internal organs are working. And so the acupuncture helps really to balance the body. So the coupling with the acupuncture and that allergy and sensitivity training or treatment has really started to make a difference for people.
So who do you recommend to come on in and try these services? Anybody who's having trouble getting pregnant, basically?
Yeah, anybody who's having trouble getting pregnant, anybody who's had miscarriages, things like that, because there's a lot of different possible causes, and as you see on the TV now, there's a lot of different acupuncture points and meridians that could be blocked, you know, for different reasons. We live in a very stressful environment. There's a lot of environmental toxins that can be playing a part, and so we do a lot of testing, and the acupuncture really helps the human body to really start to flow better.
Very interesting. Can you kind of explain a little bit? I know you brought this diagram in.
Sure. There's about 500 acupuncture points in your body. You know, any place on your body could be an acupuncture point if there's pain or anything, but as far as the meridian points go, there's a meridian for every internal organ. So there's heart, liver, spleen. And of course, from a female perspective, the liver and the spleen, those two meridians are very important, as well as the kidney meridian. So they're all important, but those three are usually the typical ones that we find people have either sensitivities or some sort of blockage. So in the body, there's all these meridians, and it's basically a pathway of energy flow. So over the centuries, people in China and Japan and other countries have found different uses and different ways that these meridians and these points work. And so, you know, you can treat all kinds of diseases or problems that are not localized. You can actually treat on the leg or the feet or, you know, the hands for different problems in the organs.
Great, very interesting. So can you tell us a little bit more about the treatment that people go through?
Sure, and what we do is initial assessment. Everybody that comes in, it's a free consultation. If we do a treatment, of course, then we charge there. But I come up with a treatment plan based on each individual person. So if a person has been trying for quite a while to get pregnant, there's the tongue and the pulse, all the history, if they've been to Western treatments and things like that, all that comes into play. And every person is different, and even every person that comes in is different, possibly from their last treatment. So different points can be used. And then I also put them through the allergy testing, and we test all the main foods, all of the hormones, and all of the relevant biosubstances. So, whether it's the hormones in the woman, or a lot of times we need to test the men too. So.
Well, very interesting. I think that anybody who's trying to get pregnant and is having a tough time should come on in and see you.
Yes.
And if you are interested in this service, you can give Jason a call, 577-6333, or go to risinglotus.net for more information. Once again, the number is 577-6333, and set up an appointment. Thanks so much for being with us.
Thanks, Jay.
And we'll see you in 2 weeks.
Okay, great.
Great. Stay with us. We'll be back after the break.